talk about communication. What is communication? And what are the categories of children that we are talking about? You know, before we'll get to the effectiveness of communication.
Okay, so just to address the question, communication is a two-way between the sender and the receiver. Okay, so when we are looking at communication in the context of the children, first we need to understand that children naturally were the one to prompt the words. And however, we should have a grasp understanding also that they listen regardless of the age you want to think about. So when we have a mindset that, okay, this person I'm communicating with actually can hear me and listen to me. So with that, we will be glad and we will be expecting a feedback in terms of communication.
Okay. So the category of children now, you know, we have, let's look at the formal education setting now, before we'll come to the home. The formal education setting had different children. You know, we have the kindergarten, we have the, yes, you know, and those classes and, you know, age grades, what are the appropriate tools to employ when it comes to communicating with them?
Okay, well,
to make it, you know, really, you know, you said it's from the sender now to the receiver.
Yes.
So at what point can we say communication has taken place?
Okay, thank you for your question. So they are in different categories, like you said. So, but I'll take it from the early stage.
Early stage.
And that's from, let's say, 0. So from
stage,
0, that's after birth initially. So but from that to like 2 years, so we are like a role model. So you model your words through communication is a form of interaction to them, not in word per se. It could be in hug, in action, in gesture, in what you do that they see, what they emulate. What you want water? Yes. So they take nodding for yes. But when you are that category, you imitate. So you want a feedback of a response of putting that words in their mouth. Do you want water? The child said yes. So you interpret that nodding to yes. So you now, like, when we go deeper, we would have a clearer understanding. So that's for that. So when you now climb up a bit to like 3 years upward, so from that age, of course, it's expected that they should have one words. Mommy, water. Daddy, water. So however, as you go further, from single words, you begin to merge the words together. But however, at every point and stage of a child's life, communication must take place. An interaction with them in our gesture, in our body language, even in our smile. So like my daughter, she's 3 months. Even when I smile at her, she will smile back. I'm communicating already.
Yes.
So interaction is taking place. So till they now migrate to, let's say, nursery, that's 5. So of course, by then, they will have conversational communication. How are you? I am fine.
Okay.
How old are you? I am 5 years old. So from then, you now begin to transit, and then it begins to fly up.
Begin to fly, okay. Now, for children, that's the forewall of, somehow you brought us to the family, you know, to the home. Parents at the initial stage, they communicate with their children, they nod with signs, and in response, they say those words to those children, so that in future, as they grow, they will adapt with them, and the conversational stage, as you said, will commence. So moving higher now, apart from conversation in words, there are also signs and symbols at schools for children. Either we like it or not, when, you know, the older those children grow, the more troublesome sometimes they will get at home.
Troublesome?
Yes.
Well, they're just
So
doing what they
challenging.
like, so we don't
They-
use trouble.
yes. Okay. So
We don't use troublesome. They are doing what is perfect for their
for
age.
their age.
You can't be troublesome now, except we want to be cracking jokes.
Cracking. Yeah, okay. All right. So children, you know, they get involved in so many activities that will, you know, attract the parents, and they will force them to give them attention. In situations where parents now are finding coping with children kind of difficult now, as an expert, how will parents cope well in addressing those children to calmness?
Okay, thank you for your question. So that's why we are always advocating early intervention. All right, because when you pick it early, it makes it much more easier, because the children are already used to the system of the parent is already used to the system of the child. Now, let's say the child has now climbed up a bit, and then you are like, okay, expectantly, that's what they're supposed to be doing, because every age has their expectation.
Yes.
But on this side of the world, we're too blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
We're just too not satisfying. Okay, so, but first, for a child who has grown up a bit, of course, it's not, the first thing should be reflective. There's something we call reflective listening. Okay, so, however, when you say reflective, that means when a child says or intend to say something, you have to relax, think about it, and then put it in the words that you know the child is trying to say.
Okay.
So, and however, children from 5, let's say children from 5. So to communicate with them is just so easy, because you understand the feedback of what you are saying to them. And that is not the stage to shout. That is not the stage to scream. That's the stage to dialogue.
It's not a stage to shout or
It's
scream,
not the stage to scream,
but a stage to dialogue. How easy. Sometimes most of these things are easier said than done.
Yeah, so
how easy will this play out in real sense?
Okay, so in real sense, a child got you hungry, and then you're just finding it difficult. So as a parent, first take a count of 1 to 10 in your mind, because naturally, they are just doing what is
perfect for their age.
So, but you know, this Nigeria and Lagos is not stable. Everybody wants to do whatever, and then. Okay. So when you count 10 in your mind, 9, 10, 8, 7, 6, that's calming you down first to respond to that child. So after you have a big calm, you can now say, okay, we must be an active listener. No matter what, a parent must be an active. It's when you listen, you sink the word. And then, you know, when you're talking to a child such at that age, you need to connect to the child eye contact. Then you're looking at, what do I do to this child? By connecting to the child eye contact, you're already calming your nerves. As you imbibe the active listening, you want to listen to them first before you pass judgment. But what we do most time, we pass judgment before listening. Unfortunately. A child come in, trip, spill the water on the floor. The first thing is, in this part of the world,
die.
But however, you might be the cause of that
water
child. You might just have a wire around your house, and the child just use his leg to cross the one of the wire. Who placed the wires there? It's adults. But because you don't listen first, you take action, you pass judgment. You won't get to even hear the next story. But when we listen, it's the same way it is difficult, like people say, it's the same way it is easy. When we be an active listener, we listen to the point of the child first. But most parents are impatient. But I will just indulge and advise the parents, the teachers, the stakeholders, the caregivers to always listen first.
All right. Active listening. Well, I'll still say, I pray that most parents will take to this step-by-step words of encouragement and be active listeners in nurturing our children. But as they advance from there, from that stage, they now move on to the higher stage where, you know, their adolescent, teenage age will be setting in. How do you deal with that, you know, grade level?
Oh, okay, so let's stay from adolescence, puberty, upward.
Yeah, upward.
Okay, so a child remains a child, regardless. We are still children in the hands of our parents. So, but however, there's a level of communication that also sets in at this stage. Okay, so you reflect, you have dialogue. Now the child has a need and is saying, this is what I want to do. And mom is saying, no, you cannot do this. And I say, this is what I want to do. Now, argument to begin. But however, we should take the interest from the space of the child first. When we take the interest from the space of the child, we can also, okay, mommy want me to study law, but I want to play football. So we bring a dialogue. Who is your mentor? Okay, if Ronaldo is your mentor, okay, let's bring Ronaldo history. Ronaldo has his degree, If Ronaldo is even a footballer, how come he had all this degree if he doesn't go to school? So, but now you know what we'll do? You'll start, you'll still play your football.
Okay.
But at least you have your degree. Even in that football, you can also be a commentator. You can't be a commentator without your education. So, but when we give the reasons for actions, at this stage, the child too looked at it, and we have a win-win kind of agreement. But we don't always want to have that conversation with them.
About children.
We just want to, this is what mommy wants. And because mommy has hired one company or the other, mommy just want the child to be, no, let's have, so that we can marry them together. The child will say, okay, mommy too has tried. He has taken some part of me. Me too, let me try.
Okay.
So that I can do part of mommy. And then with that, we don't have a win-win agreement, we'll be good.
Okay. What then are the likely results when there are effective communication with children?
Okay, so first,
because you have narrated so many wonderful, superb stages and steps. You know, playing it out becomes another thing. Let's do focus now on what will be the advantageous results when such steps as you analyzed are taken through.
Thank you. So I would say, when you talk about effective listening, so you should know that communication is going on between two people, the sender and who is receiving it. And the key fact about that is it produces understanding. So if both of us are having conversation, part A and part B does not understand, communication has not taken place. So communication will take place when A and B understands. So for both of us to now understand, so I know now that I must be patient enough to listen to you. B must be patient enough to listen. And then get a feedback. Okay, A understands, so B too understand. Okay, then we are good. Okay. Because this also is promoting their future social, emotional relationship.
Yes.
So all of these skills we are putting in children are preparing them for their future emergence. Because this is what put together and makes the child say, no, because that's what we put out. But if we are the kind who listen, because we're listening from the point of understanding. I want to understand. So one of the advantages is that a child will become more self-aware. That, okay, I don't just do things in a rush. Let me pay attention. It also helps the child to pay more attention to details. Because the child will not be in a hurry. If what you train the child with is, okay, mommy is talking to me, you looked at the child, you let the child sink in that, okay, I'm actually listening. No, the child is talking to mommy is just pressing phone. That's when mommy is cooking. Is I'm listening, I'm listening now.
So children need attention.
So, but parents need to have a high contact. Let the child understand that I'm actually listening to, okay, you said your friend. Oh, is that Nana? Or the child will get on, okay, mom is actually following. Mom is listening to me. But if we're always the other way,
they always busy typing.
That's the result we will see in the child. But if we have been patient enough to encourage effective communication, the result will be made known in the child. Because the child too will be patient, the child will be proactive, the child will be self-aware, the child will be conversant, the child will be patient, and he will be able to pay attention to details. So all of the aftermath results we're seeing in children were actually the fault. The one that pleases us, the one that does not. Because we are molding their lives. And in molding, we must be intentional. Because molding, not for now, but molding for future purposes.
For now, not for now, but for future purposes. Adúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run láàárọ̀ yìí. Ọ̀rọ̀ ọjọ́ iwájú náà ni torí bẹ́ẹ̀ gan la ṣe gbé tó ìkalẹ̀. Ìgbà míì ohun tó ti bàjẹ́ ọmọ máa ń àtúnṣe gidi tó yẹ pé gbogbo ẹ̀ tí wọ́n wò pé ṣọ́mọ náà rèé àbí ṣóun náà rèé àbẹ́wò òbí ṣáwa náà rèé a máa dúpẹ́ o bẹ́ẹ̀ ni torí ìdí èyí la ṣe gbé ètò yìí kalẹ̀ láti tún àwọn ìdílé ṣe ìdílé tó bá kò tí ìdílé wọ̀ ní bàjẹ́ ó lè mẹ́hẹ́ àbí kí nǹkan má tó kò sí nǹkan kan tí ò tó lónìí ọlọ́ngbọ́n ó ń bọ̀ wá ṣẹ́kù tó bá ní sùúrù àti ìpamọ́ra ní báyìí lórí ètò láàárọ̀ inú wa dùn láti gba bàbá wa alàgbà Sulaiman lálejò ẹ̀mọ̀ káàárọ̀ ẹ bá kí gbogbo inú ilé.
Ẹ káàárọ̀ gbogbo ilé o ṣàlàáfíà láwa o ṣáájú dáadáa o Olúwa ṣeun o ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò yìí o.
wọ́n ní ẹ ṣeun gan ni ẹ ṣeun adúpẹ́ pé $1 million smile yìí yẹn náà wọ́n láwọn gbádùn ẹ̀ lé. ó dáa ní àárọ̀ yìí à ń sọ tẹ́lẹ̀ ti sọ nídìí àfihàn ìfitìn àwọn èèyàn náà wọ́n sì ti bá yín fi ọkàn bá a lọ ṣùgbọ́n àwọn tó yẹ pé abínibí náà ni a yàn láàyò láàárọ̀ yìí ni a ní pé kí a máa bá yín sọ gẹ́gẹ́ bí ògbóǹtarìgì nínú ẹni tẹ́ pé ó ń gbọ́ ìṣe àti ìwà àti kíkọ́ àwọn ọmọ wa láàárọ̀ yìí ní tí a fẹ́ gbéyẹ̀wò ni pé báwo ni a ṣe fẹ́ tọ́ ọmọ kó sì yanrantí láti lẹ̀ torí ẹlòmíà ní láti inú oyún gan ló yẹ kó òbí ti máa bọ́ ọmọ sọ̀rọ̀ yẹ kó ti máa kọ́ ọmọ pé tó máa bá ṣapá gbà míì ẹ̀ kàn rí pé wọ́n kàn déédéé yí ọwọ́ báyìí kún gbú báyìí síta ó ń tàbá ọ̀rọ̀ ṣé bàtà ọ̀rọ̀ gbàgbà díẹ̀ báyìí pé àwọn ṣe bí ẹ̀wọ̀ I love you àìkíní kan ẹgbẹ́ sọmọ ó gbọ́ lóòótọ́ ṣé pé láti inú oyún náà ní ká ti mọ̀ tọ́ ọmọ ẹnì ṣó ń lẹ̀ ọ̀nà owó ní ká gbígbà wọ́n láwọn ìfáyà ìgbájú ìgbàmú olóyè kẹ́ríkẹ́rí wọ́n ní kò dáa fáwọn ọmọ àti wá ti mọ́ wọn lára ọ̀rá wọn ti yí gbìyànjú kí náà máa ṣe wọn lè kúkú ju nínà náà lọ ọ̀nà owó ní ká gbà tá máa fi tọ́mọ tó yanrantí yàtọ̀ sáwọn tí à ń lò lórí ayé òde òní.
Ok, ẹ ṣé olóòtú.
Bàbá mi ẹ ṣé o.
So àwọn aráalé mo kí lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí. So gẹ́gẹ́ bí nǹkan tí à ń sọ lọ àti tọ́ ọmọ òun ló rọrùn jù. Òun ló rọrùn jù.
Tó bá wá rọrùn kí wà ní àwọn tó wá ti wá ọmọ mímọ ti ìjàpá ń lè.
Ṣùgbọ́n sùúrù wa ni kò tó.
Sùúrù àwọn òbí
ni kò tó.
Ẹ ṣáà wò mọ́ mi ẹ̀yà.
So lákọ̀ọ́kọ́ ọmọ tá a bá ń kọ́ tá a fẹ́ kó gbọ́ nǹkan tá à ń sọ. A máa kọ́kọ́ farabalẹ̀. A máa gbọ́ ọmọ náà a máa gbọ́ yé. Pé kí ló ń sọ? Kò ń ṣe pé tọ́mọ bá ń sọ̀rọ̀ a máa dárọ̀ mọ́ lẹ́nu. A máa àìní sùúrù náà ni.
Ẹbí ọdún bíi mélòó ni ká bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí nítorí ká bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní gbọ́rọ̀ sí wọn lẹ́nu.
Láti 0 láti òdo láti máa bẹ̀rẹ̀.
Níjàmbá ti bí.
Tàbá ti bí.
Tó.
Gẹ́rẹ́ báyìí. And then ọ̀nà tá máa fi ṣe tàbá ti bí àkọ́kọ́ pẹ̀lú ẹ̀rín ni.
Ẹ̀rín ni. A kàn máa fẹ́ yín sí.
A kàn máa fẹ́ yín. Tẹ́bá ti fẹ́ yín ọmọ náà máa fẹ́ yín torí pé ọmọ wá pẹ̀lú kò sí nǹkan kan. Bí ọpọlọ àwọn ọmọ ṣe wá ó wá plain.
Plain àwa aláwà kó nǹkan sí.
So àwa ní àwa àti àwọn àgbègbè wa nǹkan tó a bá kó sí la máa rí inú ọmọ.
La máa rí inú ọmọ.
Ní èsì àbí result tá máa rí. So tá bá sọ pé ọmọ yìí àti ọmọ ọdún kan o ọmọ oṣù mẹ́ta o tá bá máa rẹ́rìn sọmọ a rí pé ọmọ náà akọ̀ ṣẹnu kúndú báyìí ni a máa wò.
A máa wò.
A lè máa ní àwọn náà lálẹ́ tó máa sọ pé ó
ọmọ yóò rẹ́rìn.
kó tẹ̀lé àmọ́ àwa gan
ìjà rẹ́rìn sí.
ṣáwa gan rẹ́rìn sí because àkọ́kọ́ ìgbésẹ̀ láti bá ọmọ sọ̀rọ̀ nìyẹn.
ní ẹ̀rín.
ní ẹ̀rín because ká máa sọ pé kò tí ì gbọ́ nǹkan tí mò ń sọ rárá àsìkò yẹn etí wọn ó ṣe dáadáa ju tàgbàlagbà lọ ojú wọn ó ṣe dáadáa ju tàgbàlagbà lọ so because àgbàlagbà ọkàn ti wà ní oríṣiríṣi ọ̀nà bọ̀ àwọn ẹ máa rí pé tọmọdé bá ń wò yóò máa wò yín pẹ̀lú gbogbo nǹkan tó wà lára ẹ̀ ẹ lè máa tún ṣẹ́jú báyìí kókó lè so àti gbà yẹn láti máa a máa rẹ́rìn láti ọmọ 0 D1 D2 a máa sọ̀rọ̀ kan daddy mommy water a máa forí wa báyìí
forí wa down
ṣó fẹ́ omi tó bá ti ṣe báyìí ó fẹ́ omi nìyẹn o àwa tọ́mọ bá ti ṣorí báyìí àwa máa tún sọ sí ọ̀rọ̀ tó yẹ kọ́mọ yẹn sọ fún àwọn ọmọ tí ò tí máa sọ̀rọ̀ ṣó fẹ́ omi tó bá ti ṣe báyìí ok ó fẹ́ omi ni o àwa lọ gbé omi wá pẹ̀lú èyí à ń sọ pé tó bá fẹ́ omi kúkú sọ pé mo fẹ́ omi yàtọ̀ sí báyìí but báyìí ó ní àkókò tiẹ̀ so àkókò yẹn tọ́mọ ò tí ní ọ̀rọ̀ púpọ̀ lẹ́nu tó bá ṣe báyìí a máa sọ ọ̀rọ̀ nǹkan tí orí nínà yẹn tó túmọ̀ sí.
bàbá mi níbi tí ẹ bá ọ̀rọ̀ dé yẹn akọ́gbọ́n yín ò mọ̀ nígbè tó dẹ̀ sọ̀rọ̀ ẹni àwọn òbí ẹni bí fẹ́ yín ni ká ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ sọ́mọ kí wá láti fẹ́ ṣàwọn ọmọ tó jẹ́ pé kódà irú àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ gan lóríkì lè ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá wọ́n tó fún wọn lóríkì níbi tí wọ́n tún yàtọ̀ sí wọ́n kàn èdè máa mú gbè yìí níṣà igbe ni o kíké ni bẹ́ẹ̀ bá wo dápà kò tútù bẹ́ẹ̀ wáṣọ kò rẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́rùn ooru òmu kò sí ní tó ṣe ọmọ yìí á igbe yìí ní akàn máa ké ṣá àti ìṣerú ọmọ báyìí sí àti fẹ́yìn kò mọ̀ wé yín.
ó yẹ ká mọ̀ pé bí kí n sọ fún wa pé ẹ̀rín ó póríṣiríṣi ẹkún ó póríṣiríṣi so ọmọ tó bá ń ké lóhùn rárá ó yẹ ká mọ̀ pé ẹkún danger wà
bí ó ní nǹkan tó rí
ó yẹ ká mọ̀ pé ẹkún ebi wà ó yẹ ká mọ̀ pé ẹkún emergency ó wà ẹkún ara ni mí ó wà tá bá wádìí
tá a ṣe gbogbo ìwádìí wa
tá bá wádìí tá a wá rí pé
ìlòdì
kò sí nǹkan kan tó ta ti yẹ̀ wò
ebi ò pẹ́ aṣọ rẹ
ẹkún pé mo ṣáfẹ́ èmi àti màmá mi nìkan ó wà and ìyẹn dẹ̀ ni àwọn èèyàn máa because òbí busy kitchen ni mo wà
alálọ́mọ́
àmọ́rú ọmọ bẹ́ẹ̀ tó ti ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀ tó wá gbé ó fẹ́ attention ni ìwọ fi gbogbo nǹkan tó ń ṣe lẹ́nu wá mọ́ra ná o lè wá mọ́ra ìṣẹ́jú 5
kó má sùn
àbí kó má dalẹ̀ but ojú máa ń kán wa mo ti ṣe dẹ́kì dáìpà kò sí kankan mo ti fún lóúnjẹ kò sí kankan kí ló tún wá fẹ́ ìwọ ó fẹ́ attention ni
pé wọ gangan ní sẹ́ẹ̀
pa gbogbo nǹkan tó ń ṣe tì gbé mi mọ́ra
àwọn ọmọ àfẹ́mí
so tó bá ti gbé mọ́ra wá rí pé
ó máa dákẹ́ ṣé ẹ ti ń gbọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn o ẹ̀yin ìyàwó àyẹ̀ṣẹ̀ gbé ẹ̀yin dádì wa àyẹ̀ṣẹ̀ bímọ ẹ ti rí ẹ̀yin náà ti rí bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n ní tó bá ti ọmọ ìbá ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ wọ́n ní kẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní kì lórí kì tó dáwọn bá àwọn ìyá wa látijọ́ irú wọn bá ti máa ti yẹ̀wò tán bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe sọ yẹn wọ́n wá gbé báyìí sí èjìká wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní máa kì í ọmọ dóòlà ọmọ bóòlọ ọmọ atàlà lọ bádìí ẹ̀ bá ṣáà tiẹ̀ ti kú bó ṣàgbò náà ló kú ẹ̀ sáyìn bá ní lọ́rùn ọmọ kájẹ kámú wọ́n ṣáà mọ̀ kì í ni o ẹ̀ẹ́dì pa ọmọ yóò dákẹ́ àbí ṣé pé n tó fẹ́ ni pé àfẹ̀mísẹ̀ ẹ wá gbé mi ẹ jókòó tì mí ní ẹkọ́nọ́mì tó wà yìí náà adúpẹ́ lọ́dọ̀ Ọlọ́run attention adúpẹ́ lọ́dọ̀ Ọlọ́run ó dé náà tó wọ́n bá kúrò ń bẹ̀ tó ti dípò tí wọ́n á ń sọ̀rọ̀ ọ̀nà wo la wá fẹ́ fi kọ́rọ̀ àwọn torí èmi ẹnìkan tiẹ̀ sọ fún wa ń gbà kan mọ́ àwò sí pé ó ní ìjẹ̀bọ́ ẹ̀wọ̀n yìí pé èébú pé láti inú ọmọ ló ti wá mo ní ṣòótọ́ ni ṣé ọmọdé pé wọn ti ẹ̀ ń bú Jesus name náà ń ṣe nínú ilé wọn kíní kan yẹn ẹ̀kan èdè gbọ́ àwọn èébú kan kàtìkà lẹ́nu ẹ̀ a ní bóyá léèwé ni wọ́n ti ń kó wa ṣùgbọ́n pé léèwé ni ó yẹ kó lè mọ̀ pé ẹnu ọ̀nà bá mi mo dé kò yẹ kí n jurú ẹ̀ kalẹ̀ ń bí ọ̀nà wo la fẹ́ gbà tọ́rọ àwọn ọmọ bẹ́ẹ̀ tẹ́ pé wọ́n ti ń bọ́ sí iléèwé wọ́n ti kúrò lábẹ́ wa.
ok so ó yẹ ká mọ̀ pé àwọn ọmọ oríṣiríṣi ọ̀nà náà ti máa ń kẹ́kọ̀ọ́.
wọ́n ti ń kẹ́kọ̀ọ́.
and then ká mọ̀ pé ọmọdé ó máa máa jẹ́ ọmọdé kò sí nǹkan tá a lè sọ ń pa ẹ̀ ọmọdé lọmọdé máa máa jẹ́ ọmọdé tó jẹ́ ọmọdé kò lè ní ọpọlọ àgbàlagbà àmọ́ àgbàlagbà lọ́pọ̀ ọgbà a máa ń fi ọpọlọ tiwa ṣe gègé ọpọlọ tiwọn kò dẹ̀ possible torí ọmọ àgbàlagbà tó bá gbọ́rọ̀ kan ó máa mọ̀ pé ọ̀rọ̀ yìí má jẹ́ ń lò ń bí báyìí kò lọ ń bí bọ́ ọmọdé ó sì ń build ọ̀rọ̀ ó sì ń ṣa ọ̀rọ̀ jọ ọ̀rọ̀ tó bá gbọ́ ó fẹ́ lò kó mọ̀ pé ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn wà ń bẹ̀ because environment táwọn wà ó ń fún wọn lóríṣiríṣi ọ̀nà àmọ́ tó mú bá ti wá rí pé ó sọ̀rọ̀ ó dé level yìí a máa wá ṣe nǹkan tá à ń pè ní dialogue kò ń ṣègbà yẹn la máa sọ pé mo fẹ́ gbọ́ lọ́rọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ ìwọ ò fẹ́ gbọ́ ni tó bá dé ta sọ bọ̀ wá pè jókòó torí ẹ̀ tá bá ṣe Saturday family meeting a pè gbogbo ọmọ jókòó ẹ má sọ pé ọmọ ilé kò tí ì gbọ́ nǹkan tá à ń sọ ọmọ ilé nǹkan tá à ń sọ òye rárá à ń ṣe deposition ni sínú wọn nǹkan tá a bá dẹ̀ sọ tó bá di àsìkò tó fẹ́ lò ó máa rántí pé màmá mi máa sọ bọ́ tá a bá sọ kò ní sí nǹkan kan bẹ̀ bọ́ tá a bá dialogue ọ̀rọ̀ tó dẹ̀ sọ ó kù díẹ̀ káàtó ó mọ̀ pọ́rọ̀ yẹn tó bá ń sọ yẹn àwọn tó ń ṣe ìlànà tọlọ́run àwọn tí ò ń ṣọ̀rọ̀ tó jẹ́ kọ́mọlúàbí máa sọ láwùjọ àwọn ló máa ń sọ ṣé ọmọlúàbí ni wọ́n á ní bẹ́ẹ̀ ni tó bá jẹ́ ọmọlúàbí ni ó dà ọ̀rọ̀ báyìí kọ́ ló yẹ kó sọ ọ̀rọ̀ báyìí ló dẹ̀ yẹ kó sọ so tá a bá ṣe dialogue a máa wá ṣe replacement ọ̀rọ̀ tó sọ olódo ni ẹ́ o mọ̀ kankan tó bá jẹ́ ọ̀rọ̀ tó mọ̀ sọ ni but tá a bá fẹ́ sọ pé má sọ pé olódo ni ẹ o wàá sọ pé I am smart orí mi pé èmi mo mọ̀wé jù torí a gbọ́dọ̀ fi ọ̀rọ̀ mi rọ́pò fún ọmọ yẹn kó lè mọ ohun tí ó mọ̀ wí but tá a bá fi rọ́pò ọ̀rọ̀ tá a ná sí yẹn ó sì wà ń bẹ̀ kó lọ́ọ̀bì kankan yóò tún lò tí ò bá lò lójú wa torí ẹ̀rù tó ń bà ó máa lò ń bomi but tá a bá ṣe dialogue tá a gbọ́ torí a gbọ́dọ̀ wà intentional a gbọ́dọ̀ mú ọ̀rọ̀ táwọn ọmọ ń sọ bóyá à ń dáná ogun kó tó bá ń sọ a gbọ́dọ̀ máa fetí sí i.
ṣùgbọ́n tá a bá wá ń fetí sí i àtàní ọwọ́ ọ̀tání àti tani ẹ̀kọ́ ọmọ gangan ló gbọ́dọ̀ wà láti pín níṣín.
ibi tí ẹ̀kọ́ ọmọ ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ ilé ni ọwọ́ ìyá àti bàbá dẹ̀ ni ìyá bàbá àtàwọn alábàágbé torí àwọn míì yàtọ̀ sí nǹkan táwọn míì tún máa ń ṣe bàbá máa máa tọ́mọ ìyá máa máa tọ́mọ ẹni tó jẹ́ alábàágbé wọn àbí tó jẹ́ ẹni tó ń bá wọn ṣiṣẹ́ wọ́n máa fi sẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ kan rárá gbogbo òfin tó bá de bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ń kọ́ ọmọ ẹ máa kọ́ ẹni tó ń bá yín gbé náà torí tẹ́ bá sí ń bẹ̀ mọ́mì báyìí ni mọ́mì sọ pé bọ́ tẹ́ bá ti yìn wọ́n nù nǹkan tẹ́ kọ́ wọn tẹ́lómi bá tún wá tó ń sọ nǹkan tí ò yẹ kán ṣe wọ́n máa gbà bẹ́ẹ̀ bọ́ tí gbogbo wa tá bá ti wà pé nínú ilé yìí o báyìí ni nǹkan tá máa ń ṣe o a sọ fún wọn náà báyìí ni o tó bá jẹ́ ẹni tó ń bá wa ṣiṣẹ́ àsọ gbogbo everybody máa agree pé nǹkan báyìí ní ká ṣe báyìí la ń ṣe ń bí o sọ́bọ̀ ọ̀pọ̀ gbà a máa ń wo àwọn tó ń bá wa ṣiṣẹ́ pé wọ́n ní ìwúlò sí wa bọ̀ nǹkan tó ń ṣe fáwọn ọmọ wa tá a bá sí ń bẹ̀ òun ló ń jó òun ló pọ̀ jù tó ra nǹkan tá a bá ń ṣe a máa rí result ẹ̀.
àìsí ayọ̀ láàmú rí lágbára lọ́wọ́ aláwùrà mi ẹ ṣeun ẹ jẹ́ padà sọ́dọ̀ ìyá wa.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Dibi Sulaiman. You know, a lot have been said. Active listening, dialogue with our children. So parents as much as possible and guardians or caregivers as much as possible should come to the level of these children. That's what you're saying. Definitely. In essence.
Yes.
So that we can chart a course that will be favorable for these children, both now and in the future. We have seen children who will remain adamant, say, look, this will be my choice of course of study. And they will go, their parents, the other way around, may not be a desirable course for their parents. And it's still happening up till today. You have said where dialogue will come in is for it to be settled, ironed out, and when the child will eventually make that choice, it will be the right one. So dialogue, active listening. But before I will let you go, what will be your words of encouragement? Because it's really not an easy task, you know, when we face children nurturing and bringing up. What should parents, guardians, and caregivers do in bringing our children up and ensuring that there is effective communication?
Okay, so but first, if we have the interest of the child at heart, if we're passionate about their interests, then we'll listen first and act later. So going forward, caregivers, parents, teachers, if the love of the children is at heart, and then the love being at heart is we are also preparing them for their future. So not just because of that moment. So we should always listen to them first and then act later. Not act first and you will not even hear the word.
Certainly.
So but when we listen first And I just encourage us, all of us, to be, I know I am patient enough because that's what I do every time, 15 years down the line. So every time, let us be patient to at least, because some words might not come the way we want it, but I can bet you every word comes at the age and level of the child. So when we understand, oh, this is a 3-year-old, oh, you don't expect a smooth kind of conversation. So let's be patient to always listen to them.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Parents, we've all heard, patience actually is the key, according to Mr. Sulaiman, who is an educator. Okay, well, that actually will be the size of our program this Sunday morning. We'll see you again next week by His grace. I'm Anita Buhari. It's bye for now.
Aṣọpẹ́ ní ọwọ́ Ọlọ́run ní ti àárọ̀ yìí. Adẹ̀dúpẹ́ ní ọwọ́ àlejò pàtàkì wa pé wọ́n ṣeun gan ni tí àpè wọn tí wọ́n jẹ́ wa. Lórí ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀kọ́ àwọn ọmọ wa, à ń kọ́ ọmọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni fún ọjọ́ iwájú tiwa, kálàáfíà kó lè bá wa náà ni. A ti wá ń kọ́ àwọn ọmọ wa bẹ́ẹ̀ ni fún gbogbo orílẹ̀-èdè, òun náà là ń kọ́ ọmọ fún. Torí pé ọmọ tí a bá tọ́ lónìí, wọ́n ní wàhálà náà ni à ń wá fún ara wa. Kì í ṣe ọmọ yẹn nìkan o, fún gbogbo àgbáyé ni, torí àmọ́ ibi tọ́mọ yìí ń lọ. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni kó tó di wípé wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní fi àdúrà àbí tèbi àwọn sì ní fi èpè ránṣẹ́ sí mi àti ẹ̀yin. Lágbára lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run, Ọlọ́run wo bàbá táwọn ọmọ àwọn àyàn wọn àyànjú àwa jèrè wọn. Títí dọ̀sẹ̀ tó ń bọ̀, ire o.